This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City. Hello, I'm John Cullum, and this is Emily Frankel.
Your wife.
My wife.
How was rehearsal today?
Well, it was very good, yeah. Fine.
What did you work on?
Well,
you can't tell me the numbers. I know you're not.
No.
They're keeping that hush hush.
But
John, but you are rehearsing Scottsboro Boys. Just in case people who are watching this don't know, Scottsboro Boys is based on a real case that happened many years ago. I think in the 20s.
1931.
31.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And John, what are you playing in Scottsboro Boys?
I'm the interlocutor in a minstrel. The whole
minstrel show.
Minstrel show. And the Scottsboro Boys is told as a minstrel show.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
And it has choreography.
Has choreography, and it's Kander and Ebb music and lyrics.
And Susan Stroman is the choreographer
Yes.
and director, and she was a dancer.
And she's wonderful.
Dancers make very good choreographers and directors.
You're a choreographer and a director, and you directed me.
Last night, you were so funny. When we were watching Flying Down to Rio last night with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. That's the first show they ever danced in. And suddenly the music became the karaoke. The karaoke is a very and you suddenly burst did a karaoke. You were marvelous.
Well, that was,
John, you are the best.
Up.
You are the best, most natural dancer I ever saw. You are more of a natural dancer than I ever was.
Oh, no. You're a dancer from the inside out. You're
well,
the best
anyway,
dancer I ever saw.
We are now going to discuss a post of mine called Steampunk.
Steampunk.
When I first heard the word, I thought, steampunk? Is that a punk kid with purple hair that is a punk?
Right.
No. Steampunk is an art form and a form for clothing and a form of everything, of expression, based on the Victorian age. Things like
why is it called steampunk? Oh, I guess because that's when the steam engines,
locomotives, blimps,
were being
diving bells.
Oh.
And remember Jules Verne?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Well, Jules Verne and other writers like H.G. Wells did fantasies about men who were creating machines so that they could fly to the moon.
Right.
Well,
then all those machines were, they built them so that they looked like they would do what they were supposed to do.
They weren't like iPhones.
No.
iPhones looked like everything is shiny, and you couldn't possibly get into an iPhone except with a hammer.
Right.
You couldn't pry it.
That's what I feel like taking to it. When something goes wrong with one of those, I don't get out the screwdriver. I get out a sledgehammer.
Yeah, and that would be the end. But anyway, the steampunks things are like brass fittings, like the hinges on a door.
Uh-huh.
Remember the phone I bought you for one of your birthdays when you were in Shenandoah? I bought you a steampunk, just a plastic box.
Yeah. We still got
and
it.
It had the internal workings of a phone. Well, the internal workings of a phone now that we have digital phones is completely different.
Yeah.
Anyway, steampunk is lots of things, and I got very interested in it because it seemed to me that things in our house, the ceiling, the picture frames,
everything we've got is steampunk.
That's right. My clothes are steampunk.
Oh, no.
Yep. My clothes, vintage clothes, are in. And my clothes are vintage, but they're pieced together. I would take a piece of this vintage and a piece of that vintage and put things together.
Right.
And that's what steampunk is. In fact, there are steampunk conventions, there's steampunk magazines, there's steampunk blogs. It's a whole big trend.
Yeah. Well, that's the way I used to fix anything around the house. I'd take a piece of this and a piece of that and wire it together with spit and glue.
We are natural steampunkers.
No question about it.
And you know what? I am not old-fashioned.
Well, With what?
You are not old-fashioned.
You mean because we're steampunk?
We are steampunk.
We're right on the cutting edge of the new trend.
We're steampunkers.
This is AI.R. See you next week.